Today we're going to talk about something so many people are dealing with, but there often stays hidden. The deep connection between fibromyalgia and clinical depression. We're going to be drawing from the amazing insights of the Fibro warriors to guide us through. Okay, let's get into it.
Oof. If you have fibromyalgia, chances are comments like this sound painfully familiar. It's the kind of thing people say when they just don't get it. Because from the outside, you might look totally fine. And that right there, that's what this first part is all about, the invisible struggle. We're going to look at why fibromyalgia and the depression that can come with it are so hard for other people, and honestly, even for ourselves, to really see.
Think about it, right? You see someone with their arm in a sling or using crutches, and you immediately understand they're in pain. It's obvious. But with fibromyalgia or depression, there's nothing. There's no cast, no back brace. It's this completely invisible weight, and that's exactly why it can feel so isolating. People just don't see it. The source really cuts to the heart of it here. There is no cure for fibromyalgia, and having to face that, the reality of a lifetime of chronic pain with not a lot of relief, well, that carries a massive emotional weight. It's not hard to see how that constant, heavy burden could lead you straight into hopelessness and eventually into depression. So that emotional burden leads us right into the thick of it. Let's really break down this connection. First, we'll talk about what clinical depression actually is, and then we'll look at its symptoms, which, well, they can be pretty sneaky.
And this is a really, really important point. We are not just talking about having a bad day or feeling bummed out. Clinical depression is a legitimate medical condition. It has specific criteria for diagnosis. It's a real illness, period, just like fibromyalgia is. Okay, so take a look at this list of symptoms from the National Institute for Mental Health. What jumps out at you? Fatigue, trouble concentrating, insomnia, those persistent aches and pains? Sound familiar? They should. Many of these are the exact same symptoms as fibromyalgia. The source calls depression a chameleon for this reason. It just blends right in, making it so hard to tell where the fibro ends and the depression begins. And that right there is the million-dollar question, isn't it? When everything just feels like one big, tangled ball of exhaustion and pain, how on earth are you supposed to sort out what's causing what? This is exactly why taking that next step is so critical. Which brings us to our next step, getting a diagnosis. This is the part where you move from confusion to clarity. This is how you start to untangle that mess and find the right kind of help. Before we even get into the how, I just want to pause on this for a second. There is zero shame in this. Zero. You did not choose to be sick. You wouldn't blame someone for having psoriasis, right? So you absolutely should not blame yourself for this. Okay, so going to the doctor can feel huge. I got it. But being prepared, that is your superpower. Thinking through these questions before your appointment puts you in the driver's seat. It's like you're gathering your evidence so you can clearly explain what's going on and help your doctor help you. So once you have a diagnosis, the journey isn't over, but now you've got a map. And this brings us to what the source calls finding your life raft. And I just love that image. It's about all the different things that can support you and help carry you back to shore. This personal story from the author is just so powerful. You'd think getting a diagnosis would be a terrible moment, but for so many, it's the exact opposite. It's this huge sigh of relief. It's that moment where the guilt starts to lift because you finally have a name for what's happening, and you realize it's not some personal failing, it's a condition, and conditions can be treated. And that life raft, it can be built out of all sorts of different parts. It might be medication, talk therapy, finding an online support group, or even using an app on your phone. The important thing to remember here is that there's no single right answer. It's all about finding the mix of support that works for you.
So, professional help is absolutely crucial. But what about the day-to-day grind? That's what we're digging into next. We're talking about real, practical strategies you can use to manage your symptoms and start taking back your life. And these tips come straight from a fellow warrior, someone who's been there. They seem simple, but man, they are powerful. Giving yourself grace, setting boundaries with toxic people, actually making time for things that bring you joy, creating a simple routine. These aren't magic cures, but they are anchors. They give you something to hold onto when everything else feels like a storm. I absolutely love this point about finding your happy place. The author tried to picture the classic tropical beach, and it did nothing for them. But a real memory of a foggy hill from childhood, that was it. It just goes to show you this isn't about some postcard fantasy. It has to be authentic and real for you. So,
Let me ask you, what's your foggy hill? Seriously, think about it for a second. What's that one place, real or just in your head, that can bring you even a moment of peace? Finding that personal island of sanity is a tool you can take with you anywhere. All right, I know some of this advice can sound like a total cliche, right? Just get some sunshine. But hear me out, there's actual science behind this stuff. Getting outside, even for a short walk, isn't just about a change of scenery. Sunshine helps your body make vitamin D, and movement releases endorphins. You're literally changing your brain chemistry. And as we start to wrap this up, I want to share these words straight from the source, because sometimes you just need to hear it. This isn't just fluffy praise. It's a reminder of who you are separate from whatever your body and your mind might be telling you on a really bad day.
And let's end on this. It's simple, but it is absolutely everything. A diagnosis, a dark period, a struggle, none of that is the end of the book. It's just a chapter. There is help and there is hope. Your story is not over.